All right, we've got 3 games to talk about, starting with Game 47 against the pesky Edmonton Oilers, and luckily their violent captain Connor McDavid was out of the lineup, still serving the 3-game suspension here and last time these two teams met, meaning I didn't have to worry about witnessing an assault this time, so that was a positive. Speaking of McDavid's suspension, for some reason, the guy he cross-checked in the face, Connor Garland, was public enemy number 1 in this game. In fact, the Edmonton crowd was taunting him just seconds after the puck dropped.
In Vancouver earlier this season, the rubber match tonight in the final game of this season series, as the NHL schedule dictating.
Darnell Nurse went after him too, but Garland was way too slippery for that shit. Later, he was mauled by every Oiler on the ice after poking their goalie Stuart Skinner, and failing to get a piece of Garland during that skirmish was NHL legend Corey the Worm Perry, who prior to this game, in response to McDavid's suspension, voiced his concerns about the league's inability to protect its star players. So true, Corey, well said. Anyway, then he tackled Quinn Hughes headfirst into the ice, and to the disgust of many Canucks fans, got away with it. If you don't count Teddy Bluger's fist grazing his chin, that is. Thatcher Demko was in net for Vancouver, and here he is making some beautiful Demko-esque saves early in the first period. Ex-Oiler Vinny Desharnais took 3 minor penalties in this game, 1 for cross-checking, 1 for tripping, and 1 for interference, leading some Canucks fans to speculate whether he's still secretly working as a double agent for the Oilers. Fortunately, thanks to some clutch goaltending from Demko and some stellar penalty killing from Pius Suter and Elias Pettersson, Edmonton only capitalized on 2 of their 3 Desharnais-induced power plays. Oh, okay. Anyway, Petey destroyed Matthias Ekholm and then bashed the puck off the crossbar. Zach Hyman scored a goal. Adam Henrique scored a goal. Then Bluger and Mark Friedman got their signals crossed, leading to another goal for Hyman. It's 5-0 for the Oilers, by the way. Now, the Canucks did get on the board thanks to 2 laser beams from Brock Besser and Phil Hronek, but that was all they got. The Oilers got another, but the Canucks didn't. The final score was 6-2 for Edmonton, and I barfed on my dog because Game 48 was against the Washington Capitals, and I was nervous. First, the Capitals are currently the best team in the league. Now, you can disagree with that if you want, but we're over halfway through the season and they're in first place. Second, after leaving Game 47 with an undisclosed injury, Kiefer Shwerwood was not in the lineup for this one. I don't like that. But there is good news. Elias Pettersson, no, not that one, this one. Elias Pettersson was called up from Abbotsford to play in his first NHL game. It's official, we've got 2 Petey's now. And it turns out I had nothing to worry about. The Canucks played ridiculously well. Kevin Lankinen was in net, adding to his long list of highlight reel saves. This guy is so clutch. I know it's been a tough season so far, but he's been a big bright spot for this team, and he doesn't seem to be slowing down like people thought he would. The penalty kill was fantastic, thanks to the usual suspects, Teddy Bluger, Phil DiGiuseppe, and Connor Garland. And I watched every frame of DPD's 10 minutes and 37 seconds of ice time, and he never once looked out of place, which is great, but on top of that, he looked pretty confident out there too. Here he is breaking the puck out of the defensive zone and into the offensive zone all by himself. Here he is making a nice well-timed pinch along the boards to keep the puck in. Simple but effective. I like him so far. But I'd be an ugly, drunk, bumbling, drooling idiot if I didn't mention Quinn Hughes, because without a doubt, he was the best player on the ice for either team in this game. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Similar to how the Sedin twins spoiled this city for 17 seasons, it is an absolute privilege that we get to watch Quinn Hughes dance around the ice like a cheat code on a semi-nightly basis. Quinn potted 2 goals in this game. The first was a highlight reel-worthy display of his elite offensive awareness. Check this out. With possession of the puck in the offensive zone, he located a patch of open ice right in the slot, skated to it with ease, and ripped a perfectly placed backhanded shot top shelf past Caps goalie Charlie Lindgren. Beautiful. And yet, you could argue that his second goal was even prettier. At first glance, it looks like a regular point shot that bounced its way through traffic, but when you zoom in and slow it down, you realize how intentional it truly was. Look at this shot. No matter where he is on the ice, if Quinn Hughes has the puck, the opposing team may as well give up because he's going to do something cool and there's not much anyone can do to stop it. Anyway, the Canucks outplayed the Capitals all night. From Big Hog to JT Miller, Lankinen to Hughes, it was a beautiful thing to watch after that dreadful game in Edmonton. The final score was 2-1, and I barfed on my dog again because Game 49 was against the St. Louis Blues, and I was stressed. First, when it comes to the standings, the Blues are hot on Vancouver's tail right now, trying desperately to get into a playoff position before it's too late, and considering how inconsistent this Canucks team has been of late, I was a little anxious. Second, Shwerwood was still out of the lineup with an undisclosed injury, and while it doesn't seem to be too serious, I still don't like that. Thankfully, Tyler Myers was back in the lineup after serving his 3-game suspension, and boy did he turn out to be a difference maker in this one, because for the first time in what feels like forever, the Canucks followed up a top-tier performance with another top-tier performance. Lankinen was in net again, and let me just ask you guys something real quick. Is he our number 1 goalie right now? It kind of feels like he is, but that would mean Demko is the backup. What the fuck is going on? Petey suited up for the second straight game and once again looked solid, making the most of his 12 minutes of ice time. And I can't decide which highlight I prefer, when Petey passed the puck to Petey or when Petey passed the puck to Petey. You decide. Quinn Hughes decimated some ankle bones, made a nice defensive play, set Connor Garland up for his 12th of the season to open the scoring, and look at this pass. Let's just watch in silence for a second. Okay, now clean the drool off your chin. I gotta finish this video. The Blues tried to score by breaking the rules, but the refs caught them. Now, for some reason, St. Louis tried to challenge that play, thinking that maybe if the refs reviewed the footage in slow motion from multiple angles, it wouldn't look like goaltender interference, but of course, it was goaltender interference, so not only did the no-goal call stand, they were handed a delay of game penalty for a failed coach's challenge, and the Canucks scored on the ensuing power play. It was Connor Garland again, 2-0 Vancouver. By the way, Garland had like 49 chances to get a hat trick, but spoiler alert, he didn't. Quinn sent JT in on a breakaway, and of course he scored to make it 3-0 Vancouver, and this is when St. Louis decided to switch out their goalies, hoping it would put an end to their suffering, but spoiler alert, it didn't. For example, late in the second period, moments after Dylan Holloway cut the Canucks lead down to 2 goals, Höglander was handed a 4-minute double minor for high-sticking Jordan Kyrou, giving St. Louis the perfect opportunity to spark a comeback, but they didn't. Instead, Pius Suter scored shorthanded to put Vancouver back up by 3. Now, I'd be a fat mouth-breathing moron if I didn't explain what I meant when I said Tyler Myers was a difference maker in this game, so that's what I'm gonna do. The Chaos Giraffe was all business in this one. He was paired with Hughes most of the night and never once looked like he didn't belong there. In fact, here he is saving Quinn's ass after a bad giveaway in the neutral zone. Look at the poise displayed by the gentle giant. I love it. And remember that shorthanded goal Suter scored? Well, it wouldn't have happened if Myers didn't make this killer defensive play at the blue line. And with a little over 5 minutes remaining in a 2-goal game, he was making defensive plays that had me rubbing my eyes to make sure I wasn't watching an elongated version of Quinn Hughes. And to top it all off, with the Blues net empty, it was the big man Tyler Myers popping in his 3rd of the season, sealing the 5-2 victory for the Canucks. Now, again, nobody predicted any of these scores right. It's starting to get kind of silly. So, look, the Canucks play again tonight against the Nashville Predators, and I need you all to really think about this one. What is the score going to be? If you get it right, I'll shout you out in the next video. Thank you to these Nuckheads for clicking the join button and becoming members of the channel. Thank you for watching. Oh, and just so you know, this week's episode of the Nuckhead Podcast will be coming out on Friday rather than Thursday, and in it, I'm going to be discussing all the drama surrounding the Canucks right now. And I know that's all anyone seems to be talking about at the moment, but with the recent comments made by Jim Rutherford, I feel like it's worth revisiting. And if you want to give your thoughts on the matter, leave them in a comment under this video, and I'll do my best to reply to each and every one of them in the next episode of the podcast, which again is coming out on Friday, not Thursday. Okay, thank you. Bye. Let's go in here! Hey, click one of these videos. You see the videos that just popped up? There's more. I've made a lot more. Click one of them. I dare you. Click one. Try it. See what happens.